started streaming this. I have to do my announcement and just kind of wait for things to get going. And someone's now at the door. Hold on. All right. That's professional. Start your live stream and take off. It's all right. It's all right. I learned how to do chapters now. So, yeah, so just open the description and you can view the chapters and it'll show you where things start, different subjects start. So you can skip all this bull crap when I start. I'm getting a little better at starting more quickly and getting things going. But I do have to do an announcement real quick on some other social media and then make sure that's working. Make sure my announcement's working because I was having some trouble the other day. You could see how I do it in Zapier with the other live stream I did the other day, yesterday. So I just gotta make sure my Zapier announcements are working, and then hopefully next video I won't have to do that. I can just trust that it's working. Won't have to check everything. So anyway, I guess I'll show that while I'm doing all this. So let me do my announcement. Just give me a minute. Do my announcement. Okay, and please, fingers crossed, this just works. I won't have to do any fixing this time. Let me see. Okay, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good about this. Oh, come on. Okay, got. Okay, Discord announcements good. Let me check. I'm just gonna check Facebook real quick. Let me check my Twitter. I feel like that should be good. Oh, live stream. Let's see. Oh, quick and easy. Cool. That's done. I think we're good to go, y'all. I can actually get started right away. The LinkedIn. Cool. That looks good. I know no one does LinkedIn. Who cares, right? It's not really considered much social. I guess it is social media, but not really. It's not right. I mean, it's not. I'm not naive. I know. Um, Discord. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all of them. Oh, and Facebook. Wait, did I just check that one? No, wait, no. Yes. I'm checking now. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna look good. Oh yeah. Oh, cool. Good, good, good. That all worked. Announcement's good. We're live streaming. I gotta check all this stuff. Oh, there's Nines. Gotta make sure Nines is in. Nothing's official until Nines is in here. I appreciate him jumping in. I don't know what else he does. He seems to always be available. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, I think we're rolling, so I think we're good. That started up way cool. Where are your monitors located? My monitors. Uh, right here. I have two of them. One here and here. I'm on a different look. Like this is my programming station here, and over there is my device station. I notice you do the same thing I do and look up for chat. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, yeah. This time, since I'm at my programming station, it's like just like right there, so it almost doesn't even look like I'm looking at anything else. Yeah, because I'm gonna do monitors. This monitor, that's where I'm actually programming, and then this monitor is the OBS Studio and the chat. So I can monitor the OBS Studio and chat. So, I really should do an outline before I do these videos. And I think I might start doing that. What OBS are you, OBS Studio? OBS Studio. It's on Linux. Works on Linux. I do all this on Linux. All the streaming, everything. It's all Linux. Except some of the device repair. I do use Windows. Some people are at the front door. So, yeah. You know what? I heard that there's somebody else at the door, and I don't think it's for me. I'm just gonna keep rolling and pretending that's not for me. I don't need. Oh yeah, I do. There's a slight delay in my audio. In my audio, or is the audio not synced up, or something? I am running a higher bit rate on this computer, and it's also faster processing. So maybe it's a little too high. I figured my computer can handle it. Between me. Oh, yeah, right. Between you and the chat. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. My I have, let's see, speed test. Oh, just show my IP address. Oh well, I don't care. Y'all, it wouldn't be hard to figure out my IP address, so I'm really not just worried about that. Oh, I can actually edit it in Studio anyway. Like I can blur it out anyway in the YouTube Studio. Which I'll probably do anyway, I guess. Yeah, I have almost 200, 300 megabits up and down. So I don't know why it's delayed. It might just be YouTube. Anyway, okay, so here's the official intro. Is I am Sean, and I do device repair and programming for a living. Is still a 15 plus year veteran, seasoned, and I say that not to boast, but I mean, I've been doing this a long time. A 15-year PHP developer, and I've been using Laravel in the past since Laravel 4, back in 2011. Is that right? 2011, 2012, 20, no, maybe 2013. Yeah, okay, 2013 or 14. I don't know. Laravel 4. Recently, recently I started using Docker. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of crazy. Docker's been out for a while and super popular. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she runs in here. Anyway. Um uh you know what? I'm not gonna go into a big old intro or whatever. I don't even care. I got other stuff I have to do, so I have to hurry up. The point of what I'm doing right now is, I for my Cane Bay Computers business, I don't really even have a website, which is funny. It's just funny. I'm a website developer. I can make websites all day, and I don't make any. I don't have a website for my own little business. I don't know. Haven't had the time or whatever. Okay, so what happened to my? Where did my tab go? Okay. Yeah, this is my website now. Look, if I go to Cane, oh my gosh, not Cone. Look, watch what happens. It goes to my church website. It goes to the church website instead. So I heard like people say, "Oh, your website goes to your church website." I was like, "Oh shoot, I'm not supposed to do that." So so I have to make a website for myself, and what I do is, and just like anything, is I have to create a foundation, right? I'm all about creating foundations before I get going on really in anything. Sort of like this live stream stuff. I spent a lot of time with the announcements, trying to get that working, Zapier working, and but I think that's probably like anything you do, right? I mean, you gotta have to lay a lot of foundation. So I've laid foundation in a Docker stack. So you know what? I'm just gonna get right to it because I really don't have a lot of time. I just told my wife I'd be doing something else in 45 minutes. So I kind of have to roll through this quick and just kind of let the chips fall. I might do another video on this anyway. Whatever. Let's just get started. There's a couple assumptions here. There's a few assumptions. Is that you need to, well, I'll show you real quick. I'll show you. I don't know how you would do this in Windows. I think you have to do it either with a Mac or Linux environment. So if you have, send what? Send what? If you don't have, if you have Windows, you might have to do a virtual machine. Okay. Anyway, so the first thing you have to do is you have to be a little familiar with, I'm going to increase the size on my terminal. And no, it's probably big enough, right? You have to have Git installed, Git, you have to have Git installed on your computer. There's videos on how to do that. I'm not even gonna go into all that. So probably you have to do it on the Mac or when Linux, Windows. I know they have Git for Windows, but this isn't gonna work on Windows like straight. I think you'd have to do a VM and stuff like that with a Linux machine. Okay, so you have to have Git installed, and then you have to install Docker. I'm not going to show you how to install Docker. Again, there's probably a bajillion videos on that. Oh, right. Okay. I know some lingo. You know, I'm 42. I know some cool lingo, but I didn't know the send it. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep it basic. You have to know Git, and you have to install Docker. I've already installed Docker for Linux. I'm not going to show that. So anyway, that's I think all you need to do that. That's like definitely two prerequisites. So first step, pretty easy. What you can do is just go to GitHub, or if you can remember this, if you can remember Cane-Baked Computers, just type in CB Docker Stack. You can Google that, CB Docker Stack. That will take you right to it. Well, almost right to it. Almost. Hit enter. It looks like right now there's Cane-Baked Computers on GitHub. This might end up showing. I gotta sort. Just the public one. Okay. So you're gonna see. Excuse me while I scratch my ear. Sorry. Gosh, it's probably those old man hairs itching my ear. Yeah, there's three of them which you'll need. So it is these three that you'll need. If you go here, you might see more eventually. I might add some more public repos. But the first one to start off is CBC Docker Stack. And you have to clone that. You have to clone the CBC Docker Stack. You do have to create before. Sorry, let's do this. Let me really run through it. So I like to install my repos under repos. You don't have to install it in a repos folder. So it's git clone and then the hold on. So code HTTPS is probably the easiest way to do it because you're not going to be you're probably not going to end up pushing to this repo. So HTTPS, copy that, and then you're going to clone it, right? So git clone and then hit enter. Okay, it's going to clone. I already did it, obviously. And then when you look at the files, I'm going to pull it up in Sublime Text, which is these are, it's right here, this folder here, CBC Docker Stack. So if you look at Docker Compose, this is everything that it uses. You don't have to know what this does. You don't have to know what it is. You don't have to know any of that. The only thing the only thing you have to do the only thing you have to do is you have to create a .env file. You take this .env file as an example, and you have to copy it and make an env file. Okay, you make an env file. You need to change this. What does this do? What does this do? Well, the stack with Laravel, what you can do is you can send out emails. You can send out emails with the XM server, and with the XM server is set up to as a relay. So it takes your emails, relays it through another email service. Now I use Amazon SCS. Okay. Like in another video, I showed you to use simple notification service, and in this one you can use SCS. There is a way to do it through Google, through Gmail. That's probably more popular. You can, or up. I say popular. It's not popular. It's not popular to do that. It's easier. It's easier to set up than trying to set up an SCS, a simple email service thing. You can get this information for Gmail. Let's see. I think if you just XM for Gmail setup. Oh, config. There you go. Configuration. Let's see what it looks. I just want to see what it looks like. Don't worry about all this stuff. Don't worry about all this stuff. Don't worry about all this stuff. Don't get. I'm just seeing how you would. There is a smart host. This is probably almost the right information. Where is a smart host? Pop in the smart host information. I'm sorry, I'm covering XM, but it's actually kind of important because most websites send out emails, especially like if you create like a contact me page, you're going to want to send that contact form information to your email address or somebody else, right? So this is kind of important to get XM right. So you do want to put in the XM information. What I'm looking for, just FYI, let you know, what the smart host information is for Gmail. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I used to have that information and now I lost it. XM for smart host. I'll just put Gmail smart. I know what I'm looking for. I'll know it when I see it. Hold on. I'll know it when I see it. That's not it. I don't think so. Oh, or it might be. This might be it. That might be it right there. The XM smart host. Yeah. That might be it. Let's see. I know, I'm sorry I'm going super fast, y'all. Don't worry. You don't really have to lock in and know that you don't have to really know what all this is, what I'm doing here. Okay. You know what? That's what it is. Okay, so if you want to do Gmail, so if you want to send emails from your website, relay it through a Gmail account, you can do this. On the Gmail side, it's going to throw up an error saying like there was an app, it was like a permissions app thing. You're going to get an email. If you try to do the relay, it's going to send you a security email. And it's going to say some app tried to access your account, blah, blah, blah. You have to allow it and you have to turn off something. I don't know. I'm not going to go through all that. All I'm saying is there it is. You would type in that right there. let me show you. Let me show you. Let's go back to our, okay. So when you create your env file, you're going to copy this and create it .env like this without the .example, and you would type this in. You would type in that just like that. Okay, just like that. So it'd be smtp gmail 587. The xm password, I think we just saw that. It would look here like this. Boom, like that. That's what it would look like. You know what? I might just add, since I'm kind of doing this, you know what would be nice? I might just add this. I might just do this, y'all. This will be in the repo. Look at this. I'm just going to do this for you guys. That way, it's already done. Now you don't have to think about it. See, what an awesome, you know, awesome guy. I'm just kidding. There's that. Hold on. You could probably relay some other, I'm sure, I know you can. You could probably relay some other inbox services. I'm sure maybe Ymail, maybe, or so I don't know. I know GoDaddy has like email that you can use, I'm sure. And this one's for Amazon SCS. So there we go. Perfect. We'll save that and we'll commit that later. So there you go. So there'll be an example there. So if you want to use Gmail to send emails, you would remove the comment here, and you'd leave this, and then you just got to put in your account at Gmail, and you got to put in your password. So that's the only thing you got to do. Like the only setup, I guess you want to call it that. And then you literally, all you have to do so to bring and then you literally just bring up the Docker stack like with this, with Docker Compose upd. So cd cbc Docker stack, and then Docker Compose upd. I think you have to do this with root too. I have Docker. I believe I have an alias for Docker Compose as root. I'll show you what I mean. Watch. See, I've aliased it so that it does do sudo. So I think you have to do sudo. So you have to be like an administrator. But anyway, so all you do is do Docker Compose upd, and then boom. Now, it went really like stupid fast here. It's because mine's already set up. But the first time you do this, it's gonna like download a bunch of Docker containers and stuff. So it's gonna take a while. That's it, yo. That's all you gotta do. It's easy. It's easy. Yeah, that's it. Like that's all you gotta do. I made this simple. All that I know. Just pay attention to the stuff I'm telling you have to do. Okay, that's all you gotta do. That's it. Now it's all up. So we go Docker ls. Watch this. Well, I'm sorry. That's I have a bunch of aliases. Docker ls, Docker ls, Docker container ls, Docker container ls. See, these are up and running. PHPMyAdmin, XM, Redis, Mongo, MariaDB. Now, how do you access them? Good question. Good question. Easy. You do have to look at the IP addresses that, if you go back into Docker Compose, the MariaDB is 10.2.0.2. PHPMyAdmin is 10.2.0.3. Mongo is 10.2.0.4. Right. Now remember, these are servers running on these IP addresses. So like, well, how do you access those servers? We don't access them like like SSHing into them. There are services running on that IP address, right? And using the standard ports for those services. So you kind of have to understand that, but you don't. You don't have to understand that. You can just trust what I'm telling you and just like go from there. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Now, if you want to look at PMA, you can look at PMA, because the PMA, PHPMyAdmin, it not only it runs its own server. It's kind of cool. It runs its own little server and stuff. So you can go directly to this IP address on your web server, and you could start looking at it right off the rip. You could start messing with MySQL or MariaDB right off the rip. So 10.2.0.3. Let's close all this crap. That I think I should bring it right up. Yep, look at that. Boom, that's it. You do this right now. You do this right now on your computer. Just what I showed you. Boom, you're already rocking and rolling. This is a PHPMyAdmin client. I'm sorry. This is a MySQL client, which is called PHPMyAdmin. If you're not familiar with it, that's okay. It basically, you just access MySQL with it, and you can create you can create your databases. Okay. You don't have to mess with this. You don't have to. It's just there. If you want to access MySQL, because your websites might use MySQL, and this is how it's going to do it. Not through PHPMyAdmin, but through MySQL. Anyway, that's So there you go. Now, what I like to do, is I like to modify my hosts file so I don't type in a bunch of IP addresses. So here's my host file. I'll show you my host file. Watch.
Someone's at the front door.
See, this is my host file, in which I, if you know anything about that, you can explicitly assign, but you can assign an IP address to a domain name with this. So what I do is I assign I assign 10.2.0.3 with, oh, this is wrong, CBS. It's supposed to be CBC. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So then when I go to CBS, PHPMyAdmin, same thing. You don't have to do this. You can just pop in that IP address and go right here, if that's easy for you too. Okay, you don't have to mess with the host file. Just go right there. Anyway, so that brings up your stack. So that's the first thing you need. That gives the website and the Laravel framework everything it needs: Redis, XM, MySQL, MariaDB. Yeah, what else? It gives it everything it needs. The website, your Laravel, doesn't necessarily need PHPMyAdmin, but it gives you Mongo. A lot of people like to use Mongo. Maybe instead of, I use a combination of both. I use both MySQL and Mongo. So anyway, there's that. All right. So what's the next step? The next step is you need to copy in. Not copy in. You need to clone. You need to clone the. Let's go back to. The next step is you need to clone CBC Docker PHP 7 Nginx. This one is necessary because for each, don't get hung up on what I'm about to say. Just, it's kind of like just, you can just do, just do what I show you and trust it's going to work. You don't have to fully understand everything that's going on. But for every, let's put it this way, for every Laravel project you use or you do here with this framework, it requires it like it every project requires this folder to exist, the Docker PHP 7, because the you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm just telling you now, but like when you copy the CBC Laravel project, that is going to also use the PHP 7 engine. It's going to fire off another PHP 7 Nginx. So for each, it does it every project. So like every website or every project, every Laravel project, when a Docker container goes up, it's gonna end up firing another PHP 7 Nginx container for it. That probably doesn't make a lot of sense. I've tried to explain the best way I can. Just do what I do and just don't ask questions, okay? Just don't worry about it. Just trust me. Just trust me, okay? Just trust me on this one. I'll shut up. Clone this. CBC Docker PHP 7 Nginx, clone it. Just like you did before. Clone. Clone this. You do need to clone this into the same folder as, mine's like repo, right? Repos. I created a repos folder. You do need to clone it into the same one. So git clone. Enter. Boom. Right? CBC Docker PHP 7 Nginx. Boom. There it is. Let's look at it real quick in Sublime Text. I'm not going to go over everything. I'm just going to show you, it's there, right? Guess what? You don't need to do anything here either. You don't need to do anything. Maybe except some SSL stuff. Yeah. I might have forgotten about that. You know what? I'm not even going to cover this because it doesn't need to be covered. I'm just telling you, it just needs to be there. Okay. You do need doing the SSLs will have to be another video. The best thing to do is to create SSL certificates, even for your test websites. And it sucks. It's a pain in the butt. I hate doing it. You would think you just run all your test websites off port 80 and then just call it a day, but to fully test your website to make sure it works absolutely perfect, your local website development needs to run on HTTPS. I'm telling you right now, that is no argument. I will not argue that with anybody else because I am right. Okay, I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm telling you, you need to have certs and SSL set up on your local development websites. You just need to make sure everything works perfectly, so when it goes up to production, it's going to work perfect. Now, you have to. So here's basically the deal. This is a real short story, and you're going to have to think outside the box, and maybe I'll do another video on this. Within this folder, CBC Docker PHP 7 Nginx, you go into SSL. You need to create your own the full chain PEM and the priv key, the private key .pem key. Those will not be there when you when you clone that folder, when you clone that repo, those will not be there. You have to create those yourself. There are instructions on the internet to create what's called self-signed certificates. Okay? You need to create self-signed certificates, and you need to get the full chain.pem key in here. And you can either literally put the key in here like I did, or create some kind of symlink. Maybe the actual pem key is somewhere else in another directory. You just need to create that soft link here, but it does need the full chain.pem and the brief key.pem key here, whether it's a soft link or whether it's the actual file. Okay, maybe I'll cover that in another video. All right, that right now, like if you want to try to do this all right now, that probably might be a bit of a hang up. But if you just Google, how to create self-signed certificates, it will show you. It will show you how to do that. How to generate a self-signed SSL certificate using OpenSSL. Boom. Okay, there's instructions. You just have to do it. All right. And then the next thing you do is after that, then all you have to do, go back to your folder where you have your stuff, repos. And then you just copy, you just need to clone this CBC Laravel one, and you just clone that the same way. This is Laravel with some added stuff. This is basically Laravel. I think it's like a Laravel 7 right now. I know I should take it to Laravel 8. It's Laravel 7 with a little bit of my stuff built into it to help you. So you just HTTPS clone this. That'll create CBC Laravel. Okay. And then opening that up in Sublime Text. So you can go to town on this right here. So this is CBC Laravel. You just got to set it up like you would any other Laravel, where you have to create your env file. There's no where is the, oh, here's example. This is the stock Laravel .env example, and you just have to copy this, create an .env file, fill some of this stuff in. You know what I don't have though? I just now thought of this. Is there is no. You know what I should do is I should make, and I don't, like a CBC stack example. I didn't do that, so you'll have to kind of plug it in yourself. But it's pretty easy. Just go back to when you go to create your .env file. You have to generate the key. Look that up in Laravel. Laravel shows you how to generate a key. That's what you have to do. Set the app URL name. Make sure it's HTTPS. Put the whatever.com to access your website. So if you're going to use MySQL, you have to change this out to the 10.2. What is it? Something. Docker stack. This one, yeah, 10.2.0.2. Change this out to that. Just change. That's all you gotta do. Database. Well, that would be what you can create a database in PHP right? So create a database in PHP like I showed you previously. There is, and username is, I believe, is root. That sounds right. There is no password. You can leave that blank. There's no password. So just leave that blank. Cache driver, you can change that to Redis. You can change this to Redis. You cannot use Redis for queue connection. It's going to use what's called supervisor, and that's a whole other thing, and I actually have to fix it, but we can get into that later. Redis, same thing. You got to change the host here. You have to change it to whatever the IP address is. Let's look that up. Here it is, 10.2.0.5. You got to change that to that 10.2.0.5. Mailer, you have to change out. I can't believe I didn't have an example. Why did I think about that? That's crazy. Anyway, let's see if I can show you an example here. Here's an example. Here's an example here. So here's what I did right on this other website. I changed it out, dbhost 10.2.0.2. See, it says Redis. This should be sync, not Redis. See, okay, and then Redis host is 10.2, and then on the mailer, mailer, this is what you need to fill in like this. So this should say SMTP. Change that to 10.2.0.6. That's the XIM. That's the XIM server, and then port 25, null. Leave this blank. Okay. So so here you go, right? So you're gonna change this. Okay, so that's fine. You just gotta change that to the XIM IP address and change this to port 25, not 2525. And that's really it. Once this is done, all you have to and then you do need to create a Docker Compose YAML file. You can just use it. You can use the example here. You really don't have to change. The only things you have to change is you do have to set the container name to something. It doesn't have to prepend with CBCS or CBC, whatever. It doesn't. You don't have to. This should be CBCS. Sorry. You can call it whatever. You can call it the name of your website. And then the only thing you have to change is you don't have to change the first one. Like your first project can be .30, but if you do another one, you got to change to .31. Another one, you can change to .32. And you create a docker-compose.yaml file. So you're going to copy this, just like I did in this example down here with this palmetto painting. See, I did a Docker Compose file. You see how this works? You almost can't tell a difference between the two, but see, I named it CBC Palmetto Painting. I left this IP address alone, that's fine. In another project, you'll see that I set it to .31. See? So if you do more projects, you just got to change the IP address and you got to up them. You can't use the same IP address. So .31. So once you set your Laravel.env environment, and then once you do Docker Compose, you set this, you make this file here, you copy this and make this. Then what you want to do is you could run the installer. And it's really not much installing. This is all it's doing, is just kind of setting some permissions, and it installs Composer. No, it doesn't install Composer. It installs the Composer libraries. And that's another thing that you have to have installed, and I totally forgot. So you need, the prerequisites are, to even begin this project, you have to have Git installed, you have to have Docker installed, and you have to have Composer for PHP installed, and you got to install PHP. I will also make available a library which sets up your development environment, but the problem is it only works for Linux. I have a setup, but it only works for Linux. To run Composer install, you actually have to have PHP command line installed on your computer. You can it installs pretty easily for Mac. I think you can just install it for Mac. I don't know the whole installation process, but you have to install PHP and Composer on your Mac and Linux. So you have to have really well. I guess you gotta have four requirements: Git, Docker, PHP, command line, and you have to install Composer. And then once you set those files, once you create those files, the .env file and the Docker Compose file, then you have to just run this installer. All it does is just set these permissions. So, so you would just CBC Laravel. So you just run the installer like that. I think Mac is the same way too. / and then install. So that's really the same way. So and you hit enter, and it just sets the permissions and stuff. What I like to do is kind of a weird way is because you're going to keep if you have multiple projects, you're going to keep reusing the CBC Laravel. Is to what I do is like if you look at the projects I create, like what I'll do in GitHub is I'll create a new repository. It'll be an empty repository, right? Totally empty. And then I'll clone. I keep closing my windows. I should leave them up. I'm a big Windows closer. I just close everything out and don't leave them up. Once I create an empty repository in GitHub, then I git clone it, and then it becomes like an empty repository. So like this, for example. So it's empty. If I was to ls it, it'd be like empty, totally empty, right? Except for the git folder, of course. But there'd really be nothing in there other than the .git folder. Then what I do is I do git remote add, and then I name it CBC Laravel, and then git dot then I add the CBC Laravel, not Laravel. Then I add that as a remote, and I pull the remote and add it to the CBC Palmetto painting Git repository. Yeah, I mean you could do that. Anyway, I wish it was more. I wish I could go over more stuff, and I can't. I'm out of time. I have to do some projects in the house. I have to fix our little girl's room, so I hope that helps. I'll probably end up doing another video on this for more clarification. And obviously, as I've gone through this, I've already seen where there's going to be some complications. But my point is, I want to make this as turnkey as possible. So if you want to be involved in this project, please do. And I would like to make it more turnkey, where it's just super easy for anybody to just take this and go, like start making them. And there's other stuff out there you could do it with, of course. There's other stuff you can, there's other Docker stuff and there's other virtual machine stuff. And of course you could just, download and go. But what this is this, man, this is the point of this project is, it's exactly what it is. If you want to use Docker and you want to create a Laravel project, this is the way. I'm not saying this is the way I'm not saying do this if you want to make a quick website. There's tons of other ways to make quick websites and get them going, right? But if you want to do a very quick Laravel website, and some people want Laravel websites, because a lot of times people have a Laravel website and then also comes with an API and stuff. Anyway, this is a quick way to do it. Anyway, so there you go. Hope this helps. Try it, see how far you can get with this. Anyway, I appreciate it, and I gotta go. And thank you for stopping by.